they got some tough guys. They got some tough, competitive, relentless guys. And so I hope that someone's given them the credit that is due them as they look at this game. But having said all that, this is going to sound crazy. I said it in an NC State game, exhibition game, and I think it sounded like it was a great thing to say because we lost, and what else are you going to say? Well, we won this one. And there would be the way that the game turned out was perfect. It's exactly what you would want to draw up. You get late game free throws by Eli. You get Michi in a full court press situation, and we don't make it happen. We turn it over. You get a barrage that has to happen from one player in particular, and what Michi did, and we needed it at that time. We threw the 1-3-1 out there because you're always going to feel like, well, when's a good time to do it? Up 20, then can we throw the 1-3? Well, we had to throw it out there. Well, it was good for us. So you could never script this in a way that your team could learn more from it. So I thought it was perfect for every single person other than the coach. So because that was a hard game. We signed up to do this though. So.
David on the left.
Lamont, I mean, you said in the preseason you guys were going to shoot a lot of threes. Started to hit them early, didn't hit them in the middle, but then Michi kind of went supernova there. So that's the approach for the season. So what do you say to the team when it's just they're not going in?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing you do is address the quality of what the shot is. This was an extreme. We had 34 attempts, I think. Is that what they said? 43? 43. Yeah, so. But I think we were still, and we made 16? Carried a 1. 48, right? So 48 on 40. 48 on 42, right? 37%. No, I mean points. Yeah, so from a point per possession, we're actually in a fine spot. I mean, you don't want to have droughts. I think the number was extremely high for a couple of reasons. They play that way. I mean, they play that way. And then we did try to drive it. We didn't have a lot of success. We weren't playing off of 2 feet and then pump faking. There's nobody on the planet Earth. I do feel confident in saying this. I don't think any coach on the planet Earth has spent more time in the last 48 hours working on pump fake. It's impossible. No one has. And then we still wouldn't do it consistently in the game. So, so because of that, we weren't having a lot of success around the basket. It was hard to get post touches, just the way they play. They switch everything, and then now you got a bigger guy like a Norden, let's say, or an Elijah or whoever it might be, down there trying to tussle with a quick guy, and then they're built in from both sides. There's no weak side to them. Help is always coming. So then they skip. You can skip for threes, and I would say mediocre at worst quality threes. That's the worst probably quality of 3 that you get in those situations, and so that's why you shoot them. And I felt good about the quality of shot that we generally generated from 3. 1 or 2 here or there, but I think from a percentage standpoint, they probably were pretty good looks. It's extreme based on the way that they play. We did it once when I was at Chattanooga. We played Bellarmine, and they had a philosophy, basically, you will never drive it all the way to the rim. It's impossible. We'll have too many people there. And so we kicked it out. We made 18 threes on that day. So I had 3 teams at Chat. Out of the 5 teams that I coached there, I had 3 teams made 18 threes. So this is not new that I like threes. This is an extreme because of how they play defense. But I like open shots. Sometimes it's a layup. The only challenge shot that I really don't mind at all is if you can go down and hoss around the basket and you get 5 feet away and the guy's going to challenge you, you still can shoot that one if you can make it. Like Eli's done that a couple times. You've seen it. But, threes are open. We're going to shoot them.
Questions? Jackson?
Lamont Abu Yarma wasn't dressed for today's game. Is he redshirting, or was it a health thing with his status? Do you have any
Yes,
update there?
no. Of all the things, that's of all the things that happened in that game. I'm surprised that came up so quickly. There were 1,472 things that were wild in that game, but yes, Abu has decided that he wants to redshirt. So I'm happy for him and the things that he's going to attack in this year. Be able to spend some extra time on some things, but he felt really good and comfortable about it, and so if he's happy, I'm happy.
Somebody's got to ask.
Question is, Kevin in the middle, and then John.
Coach, you didn't do a whole lot of subbing late, right? And you kept 2 freshmen in the game. What's kind of your thought process with your closing 5, so to speak?
Yeah.
I know you put Kobe in at the very end.
Yeah. That was based on what we were trying to do defensively. Like, he was better at doing that than Hayden. We were switching a bunch of stuff to try to take away some threes. So, in theory, he's done that more often and probably better suited to do that with a team that drives it like that versus Hayden. So that's it. But typically, like, we get to a certain point and the flow of the game goes a certain way, and guys are doing this, and guys are doing that, playing well, struggling, whatever it might be. But we get to some point in the game, and those dudes are the dudes for the most part. And sometimes there are more guys that are also playing well, and you can feel like you can make a move based on a substitution that they made, based on a play you might want to run. But I also look down, and some of these guys hadn't been in the game for a while because we made the run we needed to make, right? We had to make that run or we lose, didn't we? We made that run with that group. A couple of tongues were hanging on the ground, it looked like, but we had to keep that group in there. I saw our chances were better. They were being effective in the zone. You change one guy in the zone who's not reading the way that it's morphing around what they're doing, and it's not nearly as effective. So we just kept that group. They were doing good things offensively, and that was the group that took us to the promised land tonight.
John in back.
What did you sense about Michi late in the game that kind of helped him make those shots or get the team back into the tie game?
I told him to make them. I said, hey, make that one and then come down and then make this other one. I don't know. I don't know even how to answer that. Nothing. I mean, he knows I have an extremely high amount of belief in him, as do I with all of our guys, honestly. That's why they go in the game. But I have a unique relationship with him. I think everybody would recognize that. Aside from the fact that he was here, gone, and back here, which is strange in its own right. But I've known their family. We have a unique relationship that way. And so, I mean, I can coach him. I can coach him hard. I can tell him the truth. That concept is, it's fading. But I can tell him the truth. He wants and needs me to tell him the truth. He'll tell you that. And so, but he also knows while these things are happening, he's going to be very comfortable in the role that he has for us. And so I just think he was comfortable, and he knew that we needed probably to step on the gas a little bit in those moments. And so he had his foot over the gas pedal. And it was good that he made those. But we've got other guys, Eli was aggressive in the first half. And so, but with Michi specifically, that is also not the first time that Michi has done something similar to that in a scenario where we actually had to have it.
Phil on the left.
3 of your guys scored 70 points. Again, is that just an extreme situation tonight where 3 guys did the bulk of your
Did the
scoring?
heavy lifting? Yeah. I mean, when you look at 3 guys did the heavy lifting in this game. Our last game, I think we had 5 guys in double figures and 2 more at 9. So you got 7 guys essentially in double figures in the last game. So probably somewhere in between is where the dust will settle when this is all finished. But it's nice to have a couple of guys that can do that. You know, it's nice. You can't rely on it. I think that's fool's gold if you're going to rely on it. But, you know, in some moments where you're running in mud and you can't get things going, sometimes it's nice. This is at every level of any sport, really. It's nice to have a person or a couple of people that can say, okay, I need to do a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more right now. So, you know, probably somewhere in between those two games.
John, back.
Two questions about the end of regulation. It was tied, and they got an easy layup there with about 25 seconds or so. What happened defensively there?
I don't know which one it was. They had two layups. One was that the one with 17? Wait, they were we in man or zone?
I think man. It was to give them 70, and then Eli made the 2 free throws.
Okay, yeah. So that was just a man-to-man. That was a man-to-man situation. The guy put his head down and went all the way to the basket. I mean, I don't know how to say it any other way than that. And that happened too many times in the game. That happened once against the zone, even, which that blew my mind. But the zone was very effective. I contemplated staying with the zone on a couple of possessions at the end. We had a little confusion. Oh, here it is. I remember. We were confused on that play, which ultimately comes back to the coach. It does. We had come out of a timeout. I think we'd just come out of a timeout. And we were supposed to, if this is the play, I think, and we were supposed to be in zone again. Wires had gotten crossed, so we had, 80%, I always tell these guys, 80% stinks. Now in school, 80% was pretty good for me, but 4 out of 5 guys on the floor doing one thing and then one guy doing another is no good. And so that's what we had on that possession. And I think then we late tried to get back into what we wanted to get into, and at that point, we just were scrambled. I think that's the one that you were talking about. We were supposed to be in zone, and we came out and did like half zone, half man.
Right there at the end of regulation, there was a little scrum around half court. Did you think that there should have been a foul call there, or is that just one that you have to?
At the end of regulation? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I could have been. I don't know. I haven't watched it again. Live, I was hopeful. But when it didn't, I also didn't beg for that one. I was begging for some other stuff. But I did not beg for that one because I just, in that scenario, I just don't, it's rare that that's going to get called unless it's something that's, clear and egregious. And so I'll look at it. Maybe it was when it was all said and done. But live, I was just hopeful that we would pick the thing up and that somehow the basketball gods would make that shot bank in. So.
Last question, Kevin.
I know it's not the end-all, be-all, but your team leader in plus-minus was a true freshman who had 0 shot attempts for the game. What can you tell us about Hayden Asimian's impact with his effort, his defense, his rebounding, things like that?
Yeah, I've been so impressed with that guy, so impressed. It's hard for me to quantify how impressed I've been with what he does. One, I already know he plays hard, yet when I see him playing hard, I still have to scratch my head about how hard the guy's playing. So there's one, and then also he continues. He's got some things to clean up. He's a young guy, but I'll tell you what he's done a tremendous job of doing is knowing where his bread is buttered, and then sticking right there. And I say that in the highest regard because there are just so many guys that don't understand that, especially early in their careers. And so he's found a way that's going to make him a valuable asset to us. He plays hard. He's not afraid to be physical. He's very, this is probably not the right word, but it's the only word that's coming to my mind right now. Obedient in terms of what we have asked of him, and I say that in the highest regard, because some guys don't do it because they can't process it, Other guys don't do it because maybe they don't believe in it for them. He tries to do everything we ask him to do, and he's found real success with his ability to do that. And also, this guy's got a lot of room to grow as an offensive player, and he's an explosive athlete, and he doesn't look like a freshman, not to me anyway. But I've been really, really impressed with how he's found his niche in our offense. You know, he's one of the guys that probably won't shoot threes this year too often. And having said that, holy smokes, this guy is extremely valuable. He gets in and out of screens. He ducks in a way that you have to commit to defending the duck in. It's not like a half duck in that you can just defend with one arm. You have to commit to it, or he's going to bury you. And there's a real place for that. And then on top of that, he's really processed the stuff that we have asked him, and committed to trying to do those things. And it's really worked out well for him. He's a great kid too. I'm happy for him.
All right,
Thanks, guys.